Hello, this is me, Lauren Condon, and I'm going to tell you how awesome my figurative language unit plan is. It is great lesson plan because it'll engage your students and make them really excited about learning figurative language. Well, first of all, what is figurative language? Figurative language is when you describe something by comparing it with something else. When we use figurative language because it describes what we are trying to say more deeply, and students don't even realize the amount of times they're using figurative language. When they're exaggerating, they're using hyperboles. If I just say I'm hungry, I could be a little hungry or a lot hungry. If I say I'm so hungry I could eat a whole elephant, then I'm showing how I'm so extremely hungry. And, could you visualize a person eating a whole elephant? These are the kind of things that we're going to get students to think about during this figurative language unit of mine. Is there just one type of figurative language? No. As I mentioned before, the hyperboles. No, there is not. There are many types of figurative language. We are going to learn about similes, metaphors, personification, alliteration, onomatopoeia, hyperbole, and idioms. The best way to learn about these is by watching videos of where these types of figurative language are used in our day-to-day life. Just because I tell them all these different definitions, it may not mean anything, but when they realize that they're using it in their day-to-day life, and it's in songs and movies that they've watched time and time again, they're going to realize, first of all, what those types of figurative language are, and then be able to apply them to their lives and be more engaged by figurative language. And because figurative language isn't just in poetry. The best part about using Audiovisual Web 2.0 tools to play videos is you get to hear the figurative language and see it in writing as well. Every day, students are going to have me define a new type of figurative language, and then we'll watch a video or videos on that type of figurative language, and we'll find examples of that type of figurative language in the video, and we'll be doing that together. Then the student and a partner will look for examples of that type of figurative language in some poems that I found. I tried to find poems that had lots of that specific type of figurative language. So it was kind of a more interactive way of them trying to find that type of figurative language, and it's kind of like a search and find in these poems. And I have taught something similar to this lesson, and then kids get so excited when they find one, because they finally are learning these different types, and when they get to point out and say, that's a metaphor, they get so excited by it. Then independently, you will write your own examples of that type of figurative language, and it's really fun to see what kids can come up with. There's some where they come up with, ones they've heard, but there's some where they just really take the chance to be creative and run with it. And then every day, students will be keeping track of the definitions, the examples of that type of figurative language from the video, the types of that type of figurative language they found in the poems, and the ones they create on their own in this little booklet. And it's nice because then they can keep referring back to this, as they're discovering these types of figurative language. And of course, the videos are not the only type of technology in this unit plan. You have to first kind of learn these different types of figurative language so we can apply it with using very engaging and critical thinking type technology. They have now become experts on these types of figurative language. So now it's time for them to show me that. And they will get to create a short story or a poem using at least 3 types of figurative language. And then they will put this short story or poem on a glogster. And this glogster is so fun because they get to almost decorate like a digital poster. And they can add pictures and videos to enhance this poem or short story they created. And they also must decorate this glogster. That is a requirement. They can't just put their poem on there. And they need to at least use 3 pictures on their glogster. And of course they must use color. If it looks boring and blah, that's no fun. They need to take this opportunity to use their creativity and show us show me or whoever teaches this lesson what they know and have learned about figurative language. And it might turn out like this. This is my example. It's a little kind of free verse poem I wrote about going to Disney World. I used a simile, a metaphor, and a hyperbole. I said, I was so excited to go to Disney World that I thought I would never stop screaming. Disney World is the best place on earth. It looked like heaven. I got to meet all of the Disney princesses. The rides were so much fun, and all my childhood and adult dreams came true. And I inserted little pictures that says, take me back to Disney World. And then that was the end of my lesson. I know you'll love it, and so will your students. And I love this comment here. It says, wow, it's raining cats and dogs out there. Goody, I was hoping to get a new puppy. How a little kid isn't understanding what figurative language is. So hopefully our students won't be like that after this lesson.